everybody. Welcome to the Training, Learning, and Development community. Thanks for joining us today. I know we have some live folks in the audience already. Thank you so much for being here. Lisa's here. Leanne, nice to see you. Topeka, Emily, Yesenia, Jordan, Olena. Yeah, lots more registered. Cindy. Excellent. All right. So we have a guest today, and we're going to be talking about like pretty much the hottest topic out there in, my gosh, not just L&D, but also just in technology in general. I know for myself, I am just constantly bombarded with conversations and ideas and discussion about AI. And kindly enough, Danielle Wallace is here to talk a little bit about her expertise in practical AI in L&D. And let's see, I don't know, Danielle, what it was. Oh, we were sort of discussing talking with the community a little bit, and we had gone over a few different topics, and AI is something that you've been following, and it's something that I love talking about. As many of you know, I work for a tech publisher and called O'Reilly, and O'Reilly actually just does, right now, that's pretty much most of the conversation that we're covering is on the impact of AI in business and the technological landscape. And so it's always in my universe, artificial intelligence. And so I love talking about this stuff. And so Danielle, we're going to talk to you about the impact on L&D. And can you tell us a little bit about yourself, just your background, even with AI in general?
Yes, I'm Danielle Wallace. So delighted to be here. I am the Chief Learning Strategist of Beyond the Sky Custom Learning, where our focus is really on creating better learning experiences, period, full stop. My own mission statement is to help elevate the learning and development industry. So I speak at all the major conferences throughout North America. Love that just as a way to help. I have a monthly podcast, and I also have a community of practice as it relates to AI and learning and development. And then on our own side, we're able to integrate some of that into the solutions we're providing for our clients. But overall, I'm really passionate about sharing and helping our whole collective community in here on the TLDC community to really be able to navigate and keep our eyes open for the right paths, the right opportunities to think about when we look at AI.
Yeah, and it is something that everybody's looking at nowadays. I know that just a couple months ago, we did an event that I called the AI Labs, and we had some just absolutely incredible sessions in that one. So many, I still get messages in my inbox of people that have questions about it, have attended it, and just, love the event overall. And even then, I think it was just maybe in September that we did that one. And even then the technology has changed. It's still, ChatGPT 4 is now the standard on the open AI side. And back then, I think it had just been released, and it's definitely the most powerful one that people are using now. In fact, I was just reading something this morning, Danielle, before we got on, and that ChatGPT 4 is seemingly acting lazy because it's the holidays. So the answers that ChatGPT 4 are giving right now are kind of like are typical to like people that are sort of checking out a little bit for the holidays, which I thought is pretty strange and interesting. So yeah, but we're not lazy, and I want to learn more about what you are thinking when it comes to AI integration into L&D. What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, so been really interesting through the community of practice that I've spoke with thousands of people as we've had these monthly community of practices held virtually. Where we are at now is the evolution. We're in a different place than we were at the beginning of the year, but there is still this sentiment from the L&D community that I don't know what this is. A bit shocking. I don't want to know what AI is. I don't want to take my jobs. That's what we have on one side right now still. On the other side, we also have this other ground where there's a group of people who are frustrated, like I can't do anything, my company doesn't allow me to do anything, so I'm
Mm,
just gonna like wait this out for a bit. And then the third group we have is those who are either both ideating, whether that's on their own, not through their own enterprise, through their work accounts, or they're on the vendor side where there's a bit more freedom, or there's people who are just really passionate and they are trying to break the boundaries and trying to ideate further. So these three groups that we're seeing right now, and this has implications on how things might work with AI going forward. And it has implications today, whether or not you are somebody who's within an enterprise, maybe has a bit more handcuffs, or whether you're somebody that's on vendor side or an organization that has more freedom. So that's what I'm seeing in general. So three big buckets,
yeah.
even despite everything that's happened this year.
That's very interesting. I just created a poll that should be visible. I don't recall exactly on this interface how it works, but there is, you might see on the right side of your screen a little icon that looks like it's a poll. And I'm asking, are you using AI in your work now? One response so far, yes, thank you. If those of you out there that are live, if you could put that in. Yeah, I've gotten one no as well. So
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty interesting. Um, What I mean, how about you, Danielle? Your experience with AI, like
Yeah.
how are you using it?
Yeah. So you've been using this. So we've been using ChatGPT since last fall, and AI more broadly, we're using in a number of different ways. Whether it's the talking head avatar AI videos, Synthesia, Colossian, DID, um, Veed, and others that we've been using for a while, which is interesting. Even there's a whole other tangent that goes down to. So that's like an easy foray that many people can get into. Okay, I need a video. Hopefully, it's an instructionally sound video. Again, I want to elevate our industry. Secondly, we've been using ChatGPT into both learning experiences. Oh, I could actually put it into the chat. I've got a example of that where we were actually able to integrate ChatGPT in with um, a storyline, actually, to
Yeah,
create fully customized learning experiences. So this provides either 100% coaching feedback that's directly related to that individual, or this other example is feedback on a scenario. So those are like fun, different ways to help put that in. Fun, different ways to try to see what's different, see what's out there. And then internally on our own side, the third thing we're doing is I've put in all of my internal processes and policies because nobody's been reading them. Nobody uses them. They say they're too hard to navigate to find, which it is true. So we've put that our own proprietary information into we did it Storyline. You can do it in many different tools. We'll put that sets behind our firewall. So it allows my team members to be able to look at, okay, what is the beyond the sky accessibility policy?
hmm,
What is beyond the sky process for French translation? So it pulls from our own info, which took me a long time to create. So it's my own proprietary info. And I'm able to pull in from the internet, ChatGPT more broadly for use of, okay, what are for the French translation process, not only our beyond the sky policy, but it also pulls in more broadly what are things you should be looking for in general when
yeah,
doing a French translation. So
very,
that's been a nice way to help solve my own pain point within our own organization.
very interesting. And this whole idea, ever since I've been in L&D, and it's it's been a long time, almost a couple decades. Um, L&D has been notorious for being behind the times when it comes to adopting technologies, right? Like I've heard it from IT teams like saying, yeah, you guys are typically about 10 years behind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, and so are you seeing that too, Danielle? It's just like
Uh,
that's just the way that it is.
So my whole goal, Lewis, with starting this community of practice early this year was to help learning and development not be behind. So we all collectively can be there. We could so easily be there at the forefront. And
Yeah.
what I saw from my own experience, I used to be in marketing. So I was a marketing executive at Procter& Gamble and PepsiCo. And there I noticed a lot of things we did in the marketing world, we did in learning and development 8 years later. 8
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
So I naively thought at the beginning of the year I could help learning and development, try to get a bit abreast. No. So what I am seeing is we are behind. This technology moves so fast. So I just do it. I'm so excited people are listening because the technology moves so fast that it's easy to get way sided, to get really behind. And this technology is a bit faster than some of the other initiatives that learning development has been behind on. And I really don't want us to lose our strategic importance in the industry.
Right.
Yet that's actually another fear and potential trend I'm seeing.
No, it's true. I'm going to go ahead and show this comment from Rubina.
Mhm.
Rubina is asking, as a government employee, she's currently not allowed to use ChatGPT, and
Yep.
if anybody else is experiencing that restriction, and I think, I've heard that before. And one of the things that I would suggest, Rubina, is just like, even, well, you know, be, although you can't use the tool at your work, just on a personal level, use it. I know that even for me, I will go in and, like, for instance, I'm coaching a fourth grade basketball team right now, and I have to figure out my rosters like before every game on the weekend, and separate playing time, and I input like all my players names and their positions in chat gpt, and I asked ChatGPT to divide playing time up between them so that it was strategically advantageous to us. I just used like kind of probably a way too complicated prompt, and it did it for me. And it's fantastic. I mean, what are your suggestions, Danielle?
So I want to strongly echo what Rabina's saying. That came through very clearly through the community practice. Early in the year, people like in governance was on the call. They're like these big community calls, like, oh my God, we don't have a policy. Oh my God, let's stop.
Yeah.
Clap it down. They did. Let's create the policy. We can use Chat GPT to create the policy. Ironically enough, policy's in place now. And now everybody's like, okay, can't do anything. What I'm seeing now is organizations, depending on which one, are starting to roll out parts of even ChatGPT, whether it's ChatGPT integrated into Bing, so in Bing Copilot, like this is starting to be happening now, like in the past month, and I'm seeing people aren't aware of it within the learning and development. So one thing I'd say practically to everybody is check to see, because there's probably some things that might be rolling out that you're just not aware of. I've seen that across many enterprises right now, like in
Mhm.
the past month. The second thing, though, is just totally echoing what you're saying, is the most progressive organizations, progressive individuals I've seen, they're like, hey, I can't use this at all at work. Get it, no problem. Can't get it at work, but I'm still going to use this in my own time. So
Mhm.
those links I put through, you probably, of these cool interactions, you probably can't use at work. Got it. You like literally, I've tested a few companies. You can get into the storyline because, oh, it's storyline. So you're allowed to use storyline, but then it actually doesn't work because it's your enterprise is blocked access to chat GPT, which is good. So kudos to your organization for following through on their own policy, but that doesn't negate the ability that we have as our collective onus as learning and development professionals to continue to upskill ourselves. And I see this as so many um, people who are really excelling in their careers. Is one woman in her last community practice, she said, "Yeah, I'm doing this on my weekends. I'm testing. I'm seeing what's possible on my weekends." And
Mhm.
her stuff is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So there is still some opportunities to stay abreast and see what's happening.
Definitely. And the thing is you could, I mean, I don't know if any of you out there are use the Microsoft Edge browser, that has Bing pretty much integrated into it, but you can use, I mean, I can't recall exactly. Is Chat GPT integrated into Bing? Is that what the way that it
It
works? I
is,
mean,
but enterprise rollout comes at different stages.
yeah.
But for many enterprises, they have allowed that recently.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like Steven's
And
saying, yes, that's the easiest way to access it, because it feels like it, it could potentially just it's sort of like almost like doing a Google search, but you're using
yeah,
Microsoft Edge,
yeah.
and still you're getting these results that are absolutely amazing. I'm just gonna link the TLDC AI Labs recording page. I think a lot of these can only be accessed by members, but I just to just a reference to Yesenia asking, there was a session on there that showed how to integrate Storyline into ChatGPT into Storyline. It was called using AI for personalized feedback on a large scale. Let me paste that in there, and you could check something like that out. There are people like even on YouTube that are sharing this information, that are showing you like how to integrate ChatGPT. And then of course I didn't look at your resources, Danielle, but they that look fantastic. And thank you for letting
Yeah,
folks
you can
have
just
access to it. It's really good.
try it. And
Yeah.
I guess I wanted to pick up on that because those examples, what you've been sharing, Lewis, is the whole idea of there's two different types right now of practical use of learning and development. On the one side, it's improving your workflow. So I
Mhm.
mentioned talking head videos. Great, I can create videos quicker. Hopefully, they're structurally sound. I can create a script faster for something. I can create quiz questions, provided I'm not using proprietary data and I've authorization to do so. So, but these are all ways to make my work as an instructional designer quicker. Got it. I'm still producing the same output. Then we also have this other bubble of pieces where we're actually more elevating the learner experience. So in those examples I shared, the learner is interacting directly with ChatGPT. The
Yeah.
learner is directly there. The late Ray Jimenez was also fabulous at promoting this idea of having learning by doing with ChatGPT. So
Mhm.
forget this idea of this, having learning development be the guardians of what the learner is experiencing through it. Like in these examples I shared, no, just have the learners interact directly and create a truly better experience that I can't do otherwise. I can't provide 100% custom coaching feedback like in one of those links. So you
Right.
come in with any problem, I give you coaching advice. I can't do that. I can't program that in Storyline. I just can't do that. But with ChatGPT, I suddenly could.
Yes.
So that provides a way that we can springboard to more practical and more mind blowing uses in the future.
It's true. And and ultimately, I think the instructional designers, learning experience designers, the ones that are familiar with using AI and have just even basic skills, being able to use AI to do their work, are going to have just a leg up over everybody else. The folks that can't, you sort of have to. You're going to need this skill, and so even if you don't have access to it at work, just use it on a personal basis, and to find solutions. And just like googling stuff, way back when when we first started using Google, I think that start looking at using AI to find solutions to problems you might have.
Yeah. And I'm looking at the chat as well. So I definitely want to say all of us should hopefully take the challenge to learn on our own. And then there's also proliferation of tools out there. So Articulate has announced their AI integration, which basically is creating scripts. It's making your and videos. So integrating in talking head avatar videos. Basically that camp that I mentioned of making your own workflow faster. And there's many tools out there right now. Like there's many. The thinkingeffect.com has a nicely curated list, I'm putting this in the chat, of tools for learning and development use. So they've already been curated for our use in L&D. So you'll see, my God, there's a lot there that can make my work as an instructional designer faster. On the flip side, I will also give us warning out there is our non-learning and development counterparts are also very abreast of this. So those are the ones that I hear and speak to. They're like, Danielle, this is great. I can use Gamma. I can use all these different tools to be able to create slides. And then I got training. I put in a prompt. It spits out images and lots of text on the screen. And done. I've got training. They're so excited. And I can put a quiz at the end. They're so excited. Meanwhile, oh, and likewise with the talking head videos. Like, great. I can put all my compliance text into this talking head video and I've got training and I put a quiz at the end. This is fantastic because when I work with my people in learning and development, they always are so slow and they keep asking me questions. I just want them to create my slides for me and have this be done with. So Meanwhile, all of us collectively within the industry of learning and development, hopefully that raises our antennas to be, uh-oh, not only where's my role in this, but what you're producing, they are producing then is of subpar quality.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's the risk I see is this wonderful proliferation of tools that are out there, which everybody has access to, not just learning development, which is good, but the downfalls. I'm seeing this. I'm seeing this. It allows subject matter experts to create what will be a proliferation of very boring talking head videos. We're going to see them all look the same
Hmm.
and be boring, not instructionally sound. Um, they might come through with other tools that are out there, definitely with the PowerPoint slides,
Hmm.
or it's not PowerPoint per se, but it's the slide generation. And then there's so many other tools that they're there. Great. Now I can use Murph or Wilson Labs or 11 Labs to create AI voice narration as a subject matter. I'd be like, I've seen this already. Like, good. Will you put that on top of our slides? And then we've got e-learning because we've got PowerPoint slides with this voice reading them out. Hopefully, us in the industry are a little bit worried about that.
Yeah.
So this is now our challenge. So I challenge everybody to get familiar yourself so you can be adept at having these conversations to know what maybe your own people within your organization might be doing, and then be also then just reiterating that case to be that trusted learning advisor to ensure that you're still continuing to have the right conversations to steer that L&D ship for a better learning experience.
Right, right. And I think everyone should realize too is, the output that you're getting from AI isn't like it's not something that you can't edit. And I mean, for the most part, I would say that a lot of things that I produce using AI, I have to customize myself and turn it into something that is more appropriate for what I want. Like it is just a lot of times it's just simply a brainstorming tool for me.
Mhm.
You even those rosters for those kids that I
Exactly.
had to create, there were some things that were wrong with it, and I just had to, spend like another half an hour trying to make sure that it was right. And I do that type of thing regularly, but it does really, really work very, very well for coming up with excellent ideas that you might not have been able to produce otherwise.
Yeah. And that's what we're seeing. So I had another webinar session where I went through some of the tools that are out there that are all the hype. Then we went into the reality. The reality is many of them are much slower, much clunkier, painfully
Hmm.
slow than they should be. In the future, though, I'll still stick with them because I think they've got a future glide path to be easier, more consumer friendly. Um, that mentioned all the different slide creations. Those I'm not sure that will be instructionally sound,
Yeah.
but so watch out there. And then there's also going beyond some of the hype, there's the ideas, which at this point, this is December 2023, where there's some really cool ideas of what's possible, but we're currently lacking the easy means of achieving that at the speed that the learner expects. So there's a lot of really cool things we could do, but I can't achieve it at the consumer grade
Hmm.
experience that I need to. Like
Yeah.
really integrating, for example, AI avatars to replace me have a conversation. Yeah, I have an AI avatar of myself. I can't use it for you to have a conversation with me right now. Like I can't do that within the time of what would be a normal conversation, you hearing from me. So that's
Yeah.
the other thing that there is a disconnect between currently today, the hype of what's possible
Right.
versus what we can do. Although I love that fact that we can still keep thinking future forward and hey,
Right.
this are things we should keep on our radar because
Yeah.
it's happening. Things are happening so fast.
Yeah. What are some of like give me like something that you love using AI for that is like really sort of entry level that you can rely
Mm.
on something, just something that if, someone like Rubina who doesn't might not use it at work, but can go in and might be able to produce something using, whatever AI technology.
So I'll give you two. One is on the personal use case. So I many times through a day am trying to get immediate tech solutions. Could be useful for people on their personal lives on their home computers. So I need to know exactly, and I'm using Bing AI, for that. So I want immediate answers on how to troubleshoot the specific instance I'm having with my teams, with my audio. Like, I need an instant right now. I don't have time to read through all these blogs. I don't have time to Google this. I just want the answer. Like, tell me the 5 steps. That's it. So I use it for tech issues constantly,
Wow.
constantly. So that's like a nice use. And because I'm using the Microsoft suite, I'm purposely using Microsoft Bing AI because the answers are really, really good. Like,
Hmm.
there's no need I would ever Google this again. I just
Hmm.
want my answer. So that's the one use I would say for people on their home use. If you For learning and development use, I would say if you have the ability, there's two, I guess. One, if you have the ability to use, no, I'm going to give you an example for those who maybe have some more restrictions. I was going to say if you have the ability to put in data, but most often we don't, then I could say it's can be really effective for quiz questions.
Mm.
um, and creating quiz questions at even at different levels. So creating at a university level versus a grade 5 level, it
Oh.
pulls them out really, really, really nicely. Even if you can't use it for work use to create quiz questions, it can be useful to if you have any people who need to study
Mhm.
to quiz themselves. And especially we did this for English book. There's such a wealth of great knowledge out there. The responses and the depth of them are amazing and made for just a brilliant study tool. And then if you are allowed to for work, it becomes really, really quick and easy. The second thing I would say, if you can't use it for actual work use, then because of the data that you're using, then I would say definitely use it as the idea starter for a scenario. And
Mhm.
hopefully within many of our learning solutions, we collectively are using scenarios because at least kind of approximates what somebody might be doing in real life. It's a great idea to have put in a prompt like, what is a scenario for provide me, I'm a instructional designer, provide me a scenario for this instance where a customer is walking into a bank and we're going to have a difficult conversation. Okay. Use that as a starting board to have that idea, and you're not even putting anything proprietary there. It's like that's kind of generic. So that can be a good use for anybody who wants to use it for actual work
Yeah.
purposes.
Yeah, yeah. And then of course you can, manipulate it as you need to, just like whatever the response is. I know for myself, one thing that's become really, really useful is, for instance, after we wrap up here, I will probably download this video and then I use otter.ai. I've used it for years to be able to get to output my transcripts. And then I'll output that transcript into PDF format, and then I will have AI ChatGPT do a summary of our conversation, and I could say, if I want it in in 3 sentences, if I want it in one sentence, it'll give me,
Yeah.
just a variety of options, and that's really, really helpful when I'm wanting to share that, Danielle and I talked about AI, and here's the summary of what we discussed. Now, I would say most of the time I have to change what ChatGPT is outputting because it might not feel like it's my style, or it isn't covering exactly what I want, but it really is an excellent starting point for me, pretty much every time,
Yeah.
to be able to output things.
Yeah. Likewise, even for those who are not within an enterprise, let's say, who maybe or have the ability. There's so many tools. So we use Firefly and MeetGeek that creates that all automatic summary for you, gives you the next steps. The technology is improving. Again, like all these technologies, and the thinkingeffect.com has so many of them there. I find in general, they've improved since the beginning of the year. Still not all there. I'm still going to stick with them all because we use many, many tools. I'm a big believer in how they will be maybe a year from now, and it provides us all collectively with a way to continually get up to speed. The other thing I would say is useful for anybody to try to do. Again, this can be work related if you're allowed, or it could not be work related. But you can also feed with non-proprietary info. Uh, we use this. I tell ChatGPT to be a certain persona. So I need
Mhm.
to tell ChatGPT, you're my executive coach. And I give it some parameters. And then I ask it, this is the issue I'm facing. What should I be thinking of? What should I do? So you can get coaching feedback that way.
Wow,
We've
yeah.
It's pretty cool. We've also used it to try to have a five whys conversation because I wanted my team to practice using the five whys, and like I don't have time to meet with everybody. Like, use ChatGPT. So they use ChatGPT to pretend to be, in this case, their client, so they could practice critical thinking.
Yeah, yeah. And
So
I
how
mean, a
can I
lot,
hear it? Yeah.
absolutely. It's one of those things too where, go at it, where try to figure out what it can't do, because for the most part, I feel like it's been almost limitless in capability. And I haven't run into a lot of situations where I haven't been able to get a response that was unusable. For the most part, I've been able to, to really take advantage of the things that AI produces. So that's been really fascinating for me as somebody who's been working with technology for a really long time, just how effective it is and consistent it is with output. I just don't recall ever working with something that was like that was as productive as it actually is. And that's one of the things, is I think that the organizations that are integrating AI into their workflows are going to be the ones that are going to float to the top versus the ones that aren't. There's just, yeah.
I'm so seeing that right now, Liz. I'm seeing that those organizations, the people at the beginning of the year within our community of practice, testing, trying things, now where they are, and where they're taking their organizations. And I'm even talking large organizations, like really large organizations. Pretty exciting to see now what they're doing at integrate AI and chatbots, like really forget ChatGPT going, um, even getting more immersive on that. Um, it's pretty neat to think what is possible with the right mindset from the start to maybe plant those seeds to see what's possible in the future. And all these ideas are very much like easy first steps to collectively get our first feet wet within
Right.
using AI.
Yeah, yeah. So Danielle, I'm going to ask you two things before we wrap up here. One, could you put a link to your community so that if people, want to participate? I mean, I'm a huge supporter of communities in general. I think that that is how we're going to kind of survive a lot of this, and is by joining communities online and helping each other learn. I think it's a huge thing, being able to participate in those types of things. And then it wouldn't be an end of year broadcast if I didn't ask you, what do you think for 2024? Like, where do you see L&D and AI come in the coming year?
I'll tell you my vision, but I'll have an ask that goes on this for everybody listening. So my vision has two parts. Vision is this propelled need of a proliferation of a lot of bad training driven by AI,
Hmm.
created by subject matter experts. So that's the caution. On the other hand, this is us. We are able to here collectively in learning development circumvent that, to stop that, to actually create effective learning solutions by ourselves first getting ahead of it. So bit of a cautionary tale with a strong rallying cry to, hey, let's get out there, join the community, let's learn from each other, and let's collectively help elevate this industry.
Right, right. So 2024 looks like a lot of it is going to be focused on adoption. And
Absolutely.
probably, I mean, it seems like we have more than enough technology to to think about for a long time. But I think,
There's so
yeah, I
many
do
new
think that
tools.
2024 is going to be a lot about adoption. And I do want to mention with TLDC, I want to figure out a way to integrate more sort of maybe working cohorts into what we do as a community, because I know that I'm so curious about it that I would love to learn how to do things better. By learning from others, as well as like sharing what I know about it, because I definitely use AI like daily. So that's something that is going to be integrated into stuff that we do here too. So yeah, Leanne, and a lot of what, like, I really want to learn how to make images, and I've definitely played with it. I know with Microsoft Edge, Bing AI is integrated with Dolly now, which is an open AI product, and you can, I output things and look at them, but a lot of them just are not quite. They're not what I'm really looking for. So, and I use the AI features in Canva, but there's just lots of stuff that I get to play with, and I'd love to be able to share that with everyone. So, and I do have in the Slack group, there is an AI channel that's in there. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's just called the AI Labs channel. So if you're a part of the Slack group, tldchat.us, you can go there, look for that channel, and I'm going to regularly post stuff in there about AI, especially as I get it from O'Reilly, which is a really high level company for discussing that stuff. And so with that, Danielle, where can people find you? Can you put your LinkedIn profile and just let us know?
Absolutely. Would love to connect. I'm super passionate about elevating the learning and development industry. So would love to continue the conversation, share more. Excited that collectively we could actually achieve something pretty darn amazing in this
Yeah,
industry.
I love it. I love it. You have any speaking gigs coming up?
Yes, I'll be at TechLearn, ATD TechLearn, and then ATD ICE and a bunch of other things in between. So happy to be able to see everybody live or virtually in the
Yeah.
meantime and
Where is
to
Techland this
keep
year?
it fresh.
In 2024
It is in Los Angeles,
in LA. Very
in
interesting.
California.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'll have to take a look at that and see.
it's good.
All right.
And I love this. Thank you so much. So
Absolutely.
exciting
No,
to get this conversation.
thanks for taking the time to be with us, Danielle, and everybody. Really appreciate you attending. And with that, next week we'll have another broadcast. It'll probably be the last one of the year before we break for the holidays and take a little bit of time off. I do want to mention also, though, we have an event coming up in January. It's a transitioning to L&D event for folks that are just moving into L&D. If you're somebody, just beginner and intermediate stuff, I think that it's going to be a great, excellent conference. We've done at least 3 of them in the past. If you want to learn more about it or just sort of see the recordings, you can go to t2ld.com. Let me paste that in there so you can take a look at what that event is like. I think those are some free recordings. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out our session. We'll see everybody next time. Thanks again, Danielle.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.